All right, guys, welcome to version 2 strategies and myths around how to drop 30 pounds in 90 days. So, if you've watched version 1, please do keep watching. This has a lot more detail and more valuable information. And if you need a reason to watch version 2, then just know that there's been many people that DM me about version 1 and implementing strategies in there, and they've dropped 8 to 10 kilos just by watching the video and implementing. Going away with the information. So please do keep watching. And I'm going to run through how you can actually drop the weight and drop the 30 pounds in 90 days without restrictive eating, dieting, or endless cardio, and actually keep it off, even if you failed before. So let's get into it. This is the system I use to actually keep the guys that I coach and help the people that I know to actually drop hundreds of kilos, melt belly fat and love handles, and actually gain muscle. So I also use this system myself. This is battle tested. This is actually what I do every day. And this is the life I live to maintain my physique and actually have energy consistently throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the years. So let's get right into it. Right, so who's this for? If you're constantly losing weight and actually just putting it back on, I'm going to actually break down why that's happening and how you can actually lose the weight for good this time. If you're always guessing what foods to eat, what exercises to do, and need some structure, routine, we're going to break down exactly how that works and what you can expect from the whole process. So if you want to be able to fit exercise and nutrition around a busy schedule, if you just don't have the time, then we're going to go through that as well. So if you want to lose the stubborn belly fat, love handles, and build muscles, you can actually fit in clothes that you like and fill out your sleeves and actually look good in the clothes that you like. You don't have to hide away in photos, and actually be proud of being in photos with your family, friends, and cherish those moments forever. Really, that's really what want to do in the end. So if you want to take your shirt off when you go to the pool and actually be confident in how you go to the beach, to the pool, and have that physique that you're really proud of, then this is for you. So keep watching. So if you're tired of having to suck in your stomach and just hide the belly rolls, feeling out of breath all the time, because personally, I was in this situation. I was in this, up and down situation where I was fat. I actually had a lot of excess weight and I was struggling with it for years. So this genuinely is to help you as much as possible and give you as much value as possible, because these are the problems I actually personally had. So if you're tired of having low energy, low self-confidence, then this is for you. If you obviously don't want to be constantly unhappy with how your stomach looks, and you actually want to inspire others and provide value to everyone else with all the information that you're armed in your tool belt, then this is for you. So if you want your pre-COVID body back and feel like you used to, if this is something that, has been something that you've been wanting to do for a while because you've just let yourself go during that period of time, the pandemic, when everyone did actually just have a period of time where they just let themselves go, then this is for you, because we're going to teach you exactly how to bounce back from this whole situation. So if you have been prioritizing other areas in your life, like business, travel, work, for too long and neglecting your health and dream body goals, then this is for you, because this is actually, I'm going to teach you why it's the most important thing in your life and how this affects everything else. So who is this not for? If you feel like you know everything and you've got this all figured out, then this isn't for you. You need an open mind. And if you're not really willing to get uncomfortable and do the work, I've made this as easy as possible in terms of the strategies that you can implement. The whole coaching side, my thing is as easy to implement as possible, because that's what works. That's what I found works for the long term. And that's what's sustainable, because if you're in denial about the negative impacts of your lifestyle on your health, then this isn't for you, because you need to understand they're all related. If you don't understand that this is something that affects every area of your life, it's easy to get stuck in that mindset of telling yourself that this is something that you can't do because you're small-minded and stuck in your ways. Then this isn't for you, because, this is if you actually want to lose the belly fat and the stubborn belly fat in the areas that have been difficult to get off in the past. So if you time on the empty tier of possessions and instead of your own health, then this is not for you, because the thing is, I can give you every strategy, every myth that you have to be presented with, but you need to be able to implement it. But so far, I'm going to tell you, it's not been your fault. There's been so much misinformation. I'm going to go through it as well on what is actually true and what's not true. I'm here to actually give you the direct advice and guidance on exactly what works and how you can actually change your life with all this. If you want to create a lifestyle without sacrificing your health, your appearance, Basically, I'm going to give you all the tools because you can spend a lot if you are already in a gym, if you are already training, if you're doing exercise. You can spend a lot less time in the gym, not do exercise at all, and still look amazing. It's up to you, of course. If you want to do exercise, you can 100% do it. But I'm going to teach you why it might not be essential. So you can stop relying on programs and trainers and get your degree in training and nutrition once and for all. So I genuinely don't believe that you should be paying for programs, paying for coaches for the rest of your life. This is just not how it works. If you really learn how to do it and how to do it forever, then you shouldn't be paying for services or anything for the rest of your life. These repeats, this and this, everything out there, I don't understand why it's there. Teaching you how to do something and how to do it properly, then you shouldn't need them ever again. So let's get into it. So this is everything you need. So everything you need in a scientifically proven and tested format to build the health and body of your dreams using one simple formula over and over again. So this, you might have probably seen this in the past. This isn't one of those vampire gimmicks pitches that you've had before that just gets your hopes up and lets you down and basically makes you realize that nothing works, because that is what's been pushed out there on social media, on TikTok, on Instagram, because that's what's fancy and what gets clicks, views, and likes, right? That's just what's attractive to everyone else. So it's just being pushed over and over again because this is actually a legit strategy for high performers, because I've actually tested this. So what makes this different? There's nothing for sale at the end. So basically I do the whole coaching thing. I don't know how much people know about this, but this isn't just to basically try and pitch you. This is actually just to give you as much value as possible. And if it's a fit, it's a fit. So we can discuss how that works at the end, but watch through this because, I'm giving you some incentive because I genuinely want you to change your life. I want you to get as much value as possible. So the free gift at the end, drop me a message, drop me an email. If you do get to the end of this and watch this and would like the recipes, if this hasn't been sent over to you yet, basically drop me a reminder. So it was obviously recent. Also, I will have my free calorie calculator out by now as well. If you would like access to that, also message me. That is something I've been coding and working on for a while. So I'm quite happy to share it with you. More than happy to give you access to that. Are you ready to learn how to eat your favorite foods and exercise your way whilst dropping the next 30 pounds in 90 days? So I'm going to break it down, the science, in just a bit. But this is basically just to get you excited. This slide, because I generally think this is really, really good information that you can really get value from. So just a bit about me. So I'm a certified personal trainer. I've been training for 8 years. I've been doing this nutrition thing, studying, researching, conferences, lectures, podcasts, everything you can possibly know in terms of papers, research for a good 6 or 7 years now. This isn't something that I just came out with one day and I'm just going to pretend this is all correct. I've got the research, the knowledge to back all of this. And I'm saying this so you know this is actual information that you can trust, and it's not one of these other influencer things where it's just like, hey, trust me, bro, I promise, man. I've worked with over 150 clients now. That's something I'm proud of. I don't know if you've seen the testimonials, transformations. We'll go through it in a second. But I put these pictures up because I also was in this situation. This is something I was struggling with for a long time. I was 222 pounds. I was fat. I was overweight. And I was just generally unhappy with myself. I had horrible confidence. I was the guy at the beach, which was covering up everything possible because there's no way I was taking my shirt off when I was, I don't know. I just wasn't that confident enough to be able to do it. I don't know. I do it now. All the shoots I've done, I'm sorry if that's a bit over the top, but it's just genuinely proof that it's possible. There's nothing I've found over the years that is not possible when you have the right strategies that you can implement. They can really, really change your life, right? This is, every single one of you has the capability, has the possibility, any starting point. And I'm going to run through all the starting points with my clients as well. So you know you don't have to fit in a certain box for this to be possible for you. This is for everyone. So does this method work? Let's get into it. Joe from Paris, France. Frank, we've got Emily. So these guys were in completely different situations starting. I'm going to run through their individual situations in a bit, but first I just wanted to show you them first. So it doesn't matter your starting point, your starting position, your skinny fat. These guys, I've been doing this a long time. Obviously, I can't fit every single one of the transformations in here. They've all done incredibly well. And every single one of them, I can't put them on this slide. Like it would fill up the entire PowerPoint. All the pictures would just be tiny, and like you would be just be running through them forever. So there's actually more actual videos of their testimonials, everything like what they have to say about the program. If you want to listen to more of what they have to say, I do believe I'm just about to edit. I just finished up editing and putting some more testimonials up there. A little video just that I wanted to go through, and he talks about in a fair bit, just genuinely nice guy. He's just said a lot. He's obviously done very well, and had a fair bit to say, and recorded a little front-facing video. So yeah, if so, here's your problem. Let's get into it. So you're stuck in the old model and don't know about the 3 easy to implement strategies of the new sustainable model. So these are the strategies I'm going to go through. What you will actually learn from today is why you failed in the past and mastering the 80-20 rule of nutrition. So nutrition is the first thing that we are going to cover when we get to it. After we go through, what's actually not been going too well in the past with what you may have done and what may have thought worked. So second, learning the optimal exercise methods behind your training without draining hours of time. So the actual secret behind the mindset required to create sustainable change. So this is what you actually need to know. This is where serious change comes from. And I promise you, this is not something that you want to just skip over and think, oh, okay, it's just mindset. I'm just another one of those guys just pushing mindset. You're going to have the mental game and you'll win, like, cool, like, right. No, like, that's what I'm going to go through. I'm going to go through why this actually matters. And there's a bonus secret at the end that you've been brainwashed, healthy and unhealthy foods. It's just a little thing that will help you to stay until the end. So why you failed in the past. So we're going to go through Nutrition 101. You may have been stuck in this whole model here where you're just running into crash diets, super restrictive diets where, you start a diet and then you restrict yourself and then you cut out all the foods that you like. You've deprived yourself of everything, and then you actually go into the cravings, and then you actually then you give into your cravings, and then you get guilty about giving into the cravings, and then you start all over again, right? Everyone's been here. When you get to the stage of building up cravings because you keep cutting out foods that you like, that's why your diet has failed in the past. You shouldn't be getting into this restrictive phase where you can't eat something, because how long can you realistically do that for? That's not me like talking down on you. It's just me telling you that it's not the right way. Diets work because there is no restriction, not because unless they have some crazy Superman world power. Like I certainly don't. I don't know many people that have stuck to it. So that's just something I wanted you to know. If you're impatient and inconsistent in your actions, right, and you're hopping from one diet to the next, that is another thing that a crash diet has seemed to experience, and it's just some relatable points which I've just found over time. And if you leave things until the last minute before making a change, that's where crash diets usually fail. It's when you cut out entire food groups hoping for a quick fix, and you force yourself to follow some cookie cutter template that doesn't really work for you. So there's so much out there with program and such. There's this, and in the past where it's just like them trying to reach the masses with some cookie cutter template where it's just a one size fit all. That's not how this human body works. That's not how you work. That's not what actually works in terms of long-term results. And I promise you, there's no one out there who has sustained some serious results with one plan, one cookie cutter thing, which is just what they follow for the rest of their life. I wish that was the case. Then we'd all have abs and just follow someone's little program that they've just pushed out to everyone. So this is just a little meme that I that I saw starting a new healthy diet today. Breakfast is 2 almonds, I lick an apple, and that does me yelling at myself. This if this does relate to you, I'm sorry, but we're going to teach you what to do, right? So restriction is not the solution. So a lot of people do ask, like, how do you eat this? How do you eat that? And still keep abs, like stay lean and look how you want to. I need to remind a lot of people, the reason why I look the way I do is because I allow myself for all of this. This is why I'm able to maintain my physique. If I was to tell myself tomorrow, okay, no more chocolate, you're not allowed to have chocolate ever again, and that's what's going to get me to lose the body fat, I wouldn't be able to maintain that for very long. And I know a lot of people generally can't. So the reasons why diet work is because it's not part of the equation. because people restrict foods they enjoy. I find it very, very hard, let's say, to stay in that forever. And at some point they do give in, because when you do repel all the good things in your life, you end up burning out, becoming miserable, getting into that phase of craving, building up. You need consistent and predictable results with a proper strategy. So you can go to weddings, parties, social events, travel, business events, everything, and eating your grandmother's famous chocolate chip cookies, of course. This isn't stuff that you cut out of your life, right? That's not how diets work. That's why diets have failed in the past, right? So here's what you can expect from the switch. A more sustainable, more freedom and flexibility in your nutrition and training. Actually being able to enjoy the time with your family and friends instead of being left out. And, the person that is just in the corner, basically trying to bring their weighing scale to the party, then counting how many macros are in, how many carbs are in this thing. So no more low confidence or self-esteem issues. And you can actually have a system that does the heavy lifting for you, right? You shouldn't be having this mental strain. So lifestyle builders is to build a plan around your lifestyle instead of the other way around. The diet should work around you instead of you having to work around the diet. That's exactly how diets fell, and you should be able to enjoy the process and be confident in your nutrition, in your nutritional education, and be able to really do this, because when you moderate your when you know how to actually moderate your nutrition, exercise properly, nothing becomes off limit. You can eat, drink, train however you want, 24/7, 365 days a year within the right parameters. So that's exactly what we're going to talk about. So the secret, this is the slide that you've been waiting for. I'm giving you the secret now. Are you ready? So calorie balance, where calories are the base of the pyramid. So why am I saying this? Is because this just blows all the myths out of the water about what works and what doesn't. Calorie balance is what actually gets your results. Actually having a calorie deficit is what is going to help you lose the weight. So this completely blows out the myths, I need to cut out carbs, I need to cut out this, and this, right? The next thing, you need a certain amount of protein to actually get into your actual nutrition, a minimum amount, right? For more than one reason. I'm not going to go into too much detail on this. The 10% is that too many people are focusing on. It does play a role, right? But supplementation, right? That is one thing that you can focus on to optimize micronutrients. Another thing is getting enough vegetables. That's it, right? Calories, protein, vegetables, right? To get in your natural vitamins and minerals. And then meal timings, meal frequency, everything. You're stressing about this too much if it makes up 10%, right? And sleep, hormones, this needs to be optimal, yes. But what actually drives fat loss, right, is the base of the pyramid. It's the total caloric intake. And, getting a minimum amount of protein is ideal. It's what you want as well. We can run through that in a little bit more detail. But I don't want you to get into this too much because I do cover it a lot. So I don't want you to let the fitness industry, to let these experts fool you into whatever they're doing, because they're just trying to push some sort of diet program or some other thing, right? The way we came, it's carnivore diet. All of this works because of the base of the pyramid, calories, right? They lose fat. It was because of this, right? Not because of anything else. Don't let someone with a better physique push something on you because they have a better physique. Bodybuilders aren't the ones that you should be 100% taking their word for, because they have a good physique. That's not how it works, right? Especially when people have incentives behind pushing their ideologies on you with nutrition training, right? Their business models with whatever it is. Don't be fooled into the idea of just because someone says something and they say it in an assertive manner and they say, this is right, this is correct, I look like this, so believe me, directly or indirectly. That's not what you should be believing. You can't be in a situation where you're like, this person looks great and he said this, so this must be 100% correct. What worked for them may not work for you, right? They have different ideas about this and that, which they can stick to. Great, right? That's perfectly fine. That's perfectly okay. But that doesn't take away from the essentials with the calorie balance, with the protein. That's it, and vegetables. If you know this, then you know everything that you need, right? Because You don't need to get fooled about by anything else on social media, TikTok, Instagram, pushing their ideas and trying to brainwash you basically, because the exceptions do not disprove the rules. So it's something that I really do want everyone to understand. Someone else might not be there for you. Some people are brilliantly off of whichever diet model that they prefer to stick to. They know, but they know why it's working. They know it's because of the caloric intake. They know it's because of the protein intake. Everything else is extra. It's all fluff, right? That's what they want to do. Let them, right? But don't let them try and prove something else that's not backed by anything but themselves. So that's all. That's all I wanted to run through. If you look at something and you're like, oh my God, I can probably do this for say 8, 10, 12 weeks, right? But I won't be able to sustain this. I won't be able to do this for the rest of my life. Then you shouldn't even, that's not something you should even be considering. If you can't sustain it forever, that's not something you should be even thinking of considering to start off with. So let's get into it. Here's another big tip: playing with averages, right? Not tip, an actual piece of general advice. So 1,800 calories looks different for everyone, and so this is just an example. I'm not saying you should eat 1,800 calories. You can go through, but you can go through different strategies behind this. This is something you need to understand. You can have 1,800 calories per day. It's the average that matters, and it's the average that causes sustainable, consistent weight loss. If you prefer more on certain days, say you go for 2,100 and then 15 and then 75 and 21. High calories on training days. If you want more carbs, that's perfectly fine. If you prefer to have more calories on the weekends, like some people, you can still consistently lose weight. I have clients doing a completely different number of caloric intake per day because they prefer it, right? I have set out guidelines. I've set out what I want them to do, but it works for them. When I know that they have something going on, we plan for that and we actually make sure that works. And even if it's completely unplanned, you can just adjust off of that because we're playing on averages, right? So for example, I do need to bring up Kim Ellis. Basically, she lost 43 pounds in 16 weeks, only 16 weeks, and a few quick wins. She's maintained it for a year and counting now. And she's always updating me, she's great. And actually making sure that she's staying up to date, keeping up to date with me and actually keeping me up on even her daily life and throughout the whole program. She ate out every single day. She still does. I mean, pizza, she likes pizza, she eats pizza every day, and she still continues to progress on a busy schedule. And she's never been to the gym in her life. Everything that she's done has been home workouts. I'm not saying you can't go to a gym. I'm saying that, you don't need to. And the people that are trying to say that you have to, then that's not the case, right? I actually just recently did a little gift, right? I ordered her a pair of dumbbells and some weights because I felt like, she had to maybe would like some change in her exercise routine. And, she keeps me up to date with everything. A really nice girl. So nutrition myth busted. So you can only eat boring and bland foods to get results. Truth learned, you cannot achieve sustainable results without eating the foods you love or being an absolute robot. So, hey, so quick question, keto. So there's a few little memes. Yeah, there's sugar in this. We just want to talk to you about keto. So does this keto work, right? Does keto work? You can lose some weight, but if the majority of the weight that you're losing is water to begin with, right, then how sustainable is it, right? When I say water weight, if you're losing a bunch of water weight and a little bit of fat to begin with, and you've put the weight back on, how sustainable is that really? Everyone has a fat loss journey. Please, you do not need to, you do need to understand this, that everyone's fat loss story is there, right? Everyone has, it's not very unique, right? Everyone has a story of how they lost weight in the past doing keto, but I don't want to hear it because if you put the weight back on, it wasn't sustainable. And whatever conditions came up, whatever it was, COVID, right? There was something going on, right? And I was on it, but then I came off it for a year, and this happened, and I got injured, and this, right? I'm sorry, but if you put the weight back on, the strategy that you were going with in the first place was not sustainable. Cutting out entire food groups like carbohydrates isn't necessarily sustainable for the long run. If it works like it has worked, you maintained the weight forever, right? And you kept it off. But 95 to 99% of the people I've talked to, almost everyone, right, has not been in actual keto and actually kept the weight off and sustained it for a long time and actually continued it for the years and years to come, right? I hope they understand that the idea behind it, that they are reducing the amount of junk that they're eating by cutting out all the foods which contain carbs, which are usually higher calorically than everything that they were eating, right? But and that's why they managed to lose weight by cutting it off. But at the end of the day, it's because they were reducing the amount of calories. And I'm not one of those people that says that, okay, now I'm a calorie guy, so you can eat whatever you want and that's it. It just has to be in the calories, right? Like you should also have an actual strategy. You can have a lower carbohydrate diet. You can have strategies behind doing ketones. You can have modified versions of it. I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm saying that real keto, sustaining it for a long time, isn't a likely or optimal strategy. So let's get into it. So testimonials. Just so you know, I like to bring up little reminders. We all ate what we wanted, right? We didn't restrict ourselves, and we didn't actually get to a position where we couldn't maintain it forever. So exercise. Let's get into it. The secret behind exercise. It's not essential for fat loss, but here's why you should do it anyways. Right? Let's get into it. The truth. So it is important for health. I believe everyone should be doing some sort of exercise, whatever it is. Give me 3 days a week, right? That's enough, right? You can get it in because it does actually give you a mental boost. It's good for your health, and actually progressing in some kind of exercise, it's generally just good for you, good for everyone, good to know that you have targets to work towards, right? Myths. You don't need to spend hours in the gym doing grueling, endless hours of cardio, ridiculous amounts of cardio, nothing like that. Anything. Who has the time, right? Like I certainly don't. I don't know if you do or not, but if it's something that you want to do, if you want to spend time in the gym, great. That's perfectly fine too. The other thing is, you don't have to be trained at the gym. You can do home training. You do body weight workouts. So you can do a lot. You can progressively overload a lot with home workouts. That is what's important for muscle gain. So you don't have to train at specific times or do some special workout. The actual optimization of all of this is that you may have heard about and you think is the big point that you need to push through is a very, very small percent, which is optimized over the years. If you're starting out, this isn't something that you need to be overthinking, focusing on, because, I specifically teach one actual method. So it's daily, it's elite anytime. This system is to maximize progress. It's battle tested. The nutrition does the heavy lifting, right? So it's for anyone at the gym, at home. If you want to gain muscle, if you're trying to lose weight, lose fat, if you're injured, we work around that. And listen to Birdie's story as well. Actually, we're going to run through that in a bit. We're going to run through that in a bit. So no more than 3 times per week, 30 to 45-minute sessions. So no exercise is actually necessary, and it's schedule specific. So based around your schedule, and I use a simple strategy. So to keep it as simple as possible, don't need any prior experience, nothing like that. But obviously if you do have it, congrats, that's also great. So this is just something that I can actually teach you, and I'm not gonna go into it too much just yet. So cardio, what do I actually have to do? Yes, I have had. I do 0 cardio and lose fat the whole time. I've had that. That is absolutely fine. Just a little picture I have, I just finished up dual cardio and I only wanted sorry. Just a little picture I have here. I only wanted to die about 15 times after doing dual cardio. So look, you don't have to do this ridiculous amount of cardio or anything. Give me minimum steps, right? That's it. 3 sessions per week, and steps are optimal. 2-3 sessions. You don't have to be hitting 10K. Like that also takes up a lot of time, 5, 6 minimal. If you're looking for really what's optimal, what is optimal would be 3 to 4 weight training, resistance training sessions per week with 2 to 3 hit sessions per week. That's what's absolutely optimal, right? And let's say between 5 to 8K steps, right? That's what's absolutely optimal. That's probably what you guys wanted to hear as tangible advice, but it's so individualized and specific to you, it doesn't matter, right? It really has to be what you can make work consistently. Consistency over a period of time is what actually gets you results. If you decide you're going to go all out, do something, and you want to do this forever, but you can only maintain it for 2 weeks, or you can't really do it for the rest of the year kind of thing, how are you adjusting to that? How are you going to have a backup plan or a fallback plan when you go on holiday, when you go, let's say you have some meetings or travel, right? When the situations aren't perfectly aligned, when all the stars aren't aligned. You need to know how this actually works so you can actually fall back into a system that works. So this is actually what I teach, and I actually teach about this. That is something that obviously in a lot more detail than the Elite Anytime method. So only incorporate the things you enjoy doing. Stop the ridiculous routines. You don't need any of these things to work out, which is just ridiculous. Some of the stuff I've seen, it's just a bit. So when you enjoy your workouts, you can do them forever. That's the main goal. Enjoy the training. It doesn't have to be the same forever. That's another thing, right? Ideally, progress on certain exercises and keep them in forever, right? But you can always change things up, make it work around different events, occasions. So when you figure this out, you won't be dreading 5 a.m. workouts. Train however you like. You don't have to worry about it being hardcore. I'm worried. I'm worried you don't have actually worry that you're not going to get the results if you're stuck on knowing actually what exercise to do, how much cardio you want to do, this, and what actually works. Then that's the system we can actually discuss. But I gave you the actual tangible basis around the fundamentals of what you need. So Rito, right? 43 years old, serial entrepreneur from Canada, 20 pounds down in 90 days. So what did we actually do with Rito? So he ran through this in the testimonials, just talking a bit about it for a fair bit. You can see he's done absolutely incredibly well. So we actually built out nutrition and training to work around his lifestyle. It was minimum. He was doing the work. He implemented it, right? But it wasn't something crazy. It wasn't something ridiculous that he couldn't stick to because he runs multiple businesses. He's building more, and he generally has to save the energy for him to really push into other endeavors in his life, because as much as he made health a priority and as much motivation as he had towards this, he wasn't setting aside to remove every other priority in his life. He still enjoyed his life and enjoyed the foods that he was eating, and he did incredibly well. We essentially did 3 to 4 training sessions a week in the gym, and nutrition consistently changed actually as he progressed. Obviously, what he needed here was not necessarily what he needed halfway into it or what he needed there. So that was consistently changing as well to actually get him to the results. Another thing to remember, what you start off with is not necessarily what you progress into. Fundamentals are the same that we ran through, but making sure that it is adapting to their needs and having the accountability behind it was actually what got him the results. The actual mindset shift. So you know, after you have one thing, like I've seen this a lot now, mentioned this before, right? You shouldn't need any trainer or program or PT in the gym to actually learn how to do this and do this forever. So like, stop having everyone hold your hand and learn how to fix your own car, basically, and stop paying others to do the same. Get your bachelor's degree in nutrition and training, because when you know the actual method that works every time, you can obtain the results whenever and keep it forever, and actually be able to make it as easy as possible for yourself for the long run. You can do it forever, right? The PT is in the gym. What they're doing is basically holding your hand for an hour for 3 times a week in the gym, and then basically expecting you to figure out the other 70-80% of the nutrition on your own, and then only looking at the 20% of the results or so, which is the exercise, right? If you're really aiming for fat loss, you need to have the right strategy behind nutrition for you, not some template that they've handed you and that worked for them. This is what's going to suddenly work for you. You need to have it adapting and be able to eat the foods that you like, and know that foods to be eating that you can actually stick to for the rest of your life, right? Their whole incentive behind all of this is for you to keep coming back to them. If you knew everything that you needed to know, you would never need them again, right? You don't need someone to hold your hand in the gym every time, just for the accountability purposes, if you know how to do it yourself. At a certain point, maybe, right? Maybe you want to get to, you've really learned everything, now you're just there genuinely for just accountability kind of thing. But if you're really starting out, right, you should be able to learn how to do this forever. So you really need to take control of your life. So stop listening to what everyone else says and understand what works for you. So if someone says jump, this is just a little meme. Jump off the cliff challenge, right? That is something you need to really figure out for yourself, right? Ask yourself, how many times have I just done something because someone else has told me to do it? And how many times has that worked for me now? So that's just a little meme. So number 3, an important part, the sustainable mindset. But this is why you lost weight and gained it back. This is the yo-yo dieting thing, right? It shouldn't happen in the first place. If you're implementing it in the right way, so mistake number one is that you made it relying solely on willpower and motivation. If you're basically waiting for the perfect time where the motivation is your absolute highest, that's what's going to drive you the results. I'm here to tell you, motivation is nothing but a spark to get you going. There's flickers here and there. You're not 100% motivated going into every single day of your life. So if you're relying on this to create sustainable change and sustainable results, then you're setting yourself up for failure. You need science-backed systems. So when the days aren't perfect, when all the stars aren't aligned and you're not at your peak, you need to be able to do this forever, right? This isn't something that you can do once and like when you're feeling absolutely perfect and you've smashed it out, you've gone to the gym and you nailed it, your diet for a week, and then what? If there's nothing to fall back on except motivation, you're setting yourself up for failure. If you're reaching for the quick fix, if you're reaching for keto that's going to solve your problems, or some supplement or some diet which is going to solve all your problems, that's where you may have gone wrong in the past as well. And that's where you may be heading towards now. Just know that all of these work on a temporary basis. If you can push into something, great. And you will lose some weight if that's what you need to just switch up your thought processes behind learning. All right, cool. That's perfectly fine. But just know this isn't what's going to get you to the sustainable results. What you need is to actually know how this works. So here's the actual problem with this is an issue. I don't say this lightly because after you fail enough times, you lose the belief in losing weight, being the best version of yourself, being confident, being healthy, having the dream body that you dream of. It's even possible, and you eventually give up. This is why I hate these tactics. These little quick fixes that are gonna try and promise you a dream of this thing and don't get you there. It kills me on the inside. Seeing so many people go into these cycles of just losing weight and putting it back on and losing weight and never being able to sustain a healthy lifestyle, it doesn't work, right? So this is what progress actually looks like. So you can expect failure. That's absolutely fine, right? But if there's nothing for you to fall back on, no system to keep progressing, Archibald, know how to fall back. And if there's no level base for you to fall back on, then it's an issue because you can go from here and you can basically just keep falling back down. And this is probably what's happened before. And then you're back to square one. Or maybe you get some progress further but then you're back to square one, because this should be continually progressing throughout your entire life. Even if it slows down, you can get to a point where you can continue. You can continue progressing. Next thing is fix your beliefs. You need to believe it's possible. This is a huge, huge thing. So why do I actually say this? Because this is the thing, right? If you don't believe, then you don't believe you have potential. If you believe that you have bad potential to get the results, it's my genetics, it's my hormones, it's like I've tried everything, nothing works, right? And you do take bad action towards trying anything, right? And then, or you don't take any action and you get subpar results. And then you lose your belief and you lose your belief in even thinking that it's possible, right? This is what's probably been going on for a long time for you. And if you have been trying for a long time, what you need to do is believe that you have the potential to get the results so you can take good action to get more results, right? And then you have the belief that's possible and you can continue this cycle, continually improving and progressing. You shouldn't be in a position where you're just falling again and again to the point where this potential is just out of your head and it's just an X in your head, right? So just another thing, just a little testimonial here. So Maria from Madrid, Spain, she was a great girl. So I'm just showing you this, that it's possible. Even in the shortest period of time, you can maintain, she looks very similar, you can maintain it. So she was 12 pounds down, just the first 12 weeks, right at this point. Sorry, in just 16 weeks, right at this point. So she wasn't even believing that it was possible to completely lose the love handles, right? Having been stuck with this for years. When she finally truly believed it, that it was possible, even though she had multiple business trips, she had a busy desk job, and she had like 3 or 4 business trips during those 12 weeks. And but I tried to instill the belief that it's possible when she really followed through and took action. She had 4 different gym and home workout setups, and she had every excuse to be like, okay, this is a bad time. This is like, I really don't have, this can't be a priority for me. But she really, really, truly did believe it. And she did, and she had different food availability, holidays, everything, right? Every week. So on the trip, she had to, obviously not going to have access to the same food. We had made changes, we had made the right changes needed. So, and she kept progressing off of this physique. So she lost the love handles completely, lost the belly fat. What we did, right, we made sure that the food choices that she could work with worked. So based off of the fundamentals and based off of what she had available, that's what we made work. And this is exactly why I try to push the idea, like, it doesn't have to be one thing that you stick to forever. And if I can't stick to these things, to these perfect conditions, then it's all a failure, right? There have to be a system. So to be able to continually progress, so quick recap secrets that we covered today: eat what you like, still get the results, and the truth behind the fad diets and quick fixes. Train in an efficient manner and actually enjoy it. Willpower and motivation will only get you so far. So this is the bonus secret that I really wanted to run through as well, which I've basically covered this, but you may actually really want to know this. So you've been brainwashed. Social media, the food industry, the fitness industry have programmed your mind, but it's not your fault, because this is what you need to know. First things first, there are no good foods and bad foods like they try to push on you, right? There's no good breakfast where everything is healthy, right? There's no healthy, unhealthy kind of foods which they try and push out. So just a little idea. This is an infographic from an account from a social media who I like. He's a fitness chef. This is what 1,072 calorie, healthy, good breakfast smoothie bowl looks like, right? Has a lot of nutrients. It's great, but also accept the powderings, sugar. But social media will tell you that this is healthy. This is like the influencer's ideal breakfast. This is what looks great. And, because I've seen this person do it on social media, it must be great. And this is apparently a bad breakfast. You have the food that you like, that you want to eat. Oops. The food that you like, that you want to eat, and you're just trying to avoid it because apparently it's bad, but it has 37 grams of protein, 14 grams of carbs, 29 grams of fats. It has moderate calories and sugars, and plenty of micronutrients as well. So just to get yourself in the mindset, out of the mindset of healthy and unhealthy, good, bad food, right? And don't look at other people's things and think, oh, wow, they're living a great life. This guy's a perfect breakfast. That's why he looks the way he does. Here you go. Like, here's your idea of a perfect breakfast. That's why he looks the way he does. Here you go. Or like, just because it looks pretty on social media. Another thing, like idolize, demonize, a 203 calorie Nutella piece of toast. If you're trying to lose weight, might be a better option than the avocado toast that is completely being fantasized and idolized on social media, because every single Instagram influencer wants to eat avocado on toast, and that's like the perfect diet for you, right? Next thing, don't let these shopping food grocery store adverts pull you into thinking one cereal makes you slim and one makes you fat. They're just marketed differently. The calorie numbers are very similar. The majority of the thing, yes, it's probably higher in sugar, right? But calorie wise, it's nearly about the same. And if you really want to really get into it about insulin resistance, this and this, right? If you're trying to lose weight, if you're in a caloric deficit, you're going to lose weight, right? And that should be your main goal when you're trying to lose weight. I'm not talking directly about diabetics who do have to go about it in a different way, right? But I'm saying when you are trying to lose weight, your main goal should be if you're excessively fat, you should be trying to lose the fat. That is what's going to get you healthier. That's what's going to increase your insulin resistance, right? Not necessarily avoiding every single food for a certain period of time and then eating it all and then not understanding why you've lost the weight. Don't fall for the marketing in shock, right? Main thing, keep the results forever. This is Frank. He's done absolutely amazing, brilliant. He was in the skinny fat physique. This is a year off, just saying. So this is a year and a half after, actually. And he's improved progressively since. So I'm telling you, this system works. I'm saying that this is something that you can do forever. Majority of my clients have kept the results, kept improving. He's now a nutritionist, personal training. He's done a lot of things and he's really learning a lot now. And I'm so happy for him, genuinely. He's learned about this. It's what he's interested in now. And this is what I want for you. I want you to become interested in the topic. Learn more, learn everything you possibly can, right? And get the results. Take one step, take the action, right? And then start. And that's all you need. That's all you need is start. He's changed his life. And Mark, now caught up a bit ago. This is just where he started, right? He was 86 kilos, now 67.4. Also, they've gone into the whole personal training space now because he's done so well. He's fully into boxing. He's got some fights going, and he's completely changed his life at this point. He probably didn't believe it was possible to do all of it. If you're sitting there thinking this could never be me, here is his starting point. This is where he was where he had every excuse not to start doing something. He could have said, this isn't the right time. He could have said, I have a lot going on. He was studying for a bunch of things. He was working full time. He could have said, this isn't for me right now. This is probably not the right time. I need to think about it a little more. He didn't. He just took action. And that's why he's gotten such great results. And he's kept improving. Zach also continues to improve. He's really gotten into his compound lifts recently. He's done absolutely well during the process here. So he's dropped 10 kilos and in the first 8 weeks. So he's continuously progressing. The main thing is he hasn't bounced back. He hasn't gone back into his old ways. He's done some serious training. He was doing this while he was working full time, like 14, 16 hours a day. Didn't have time to do this. But you know what? He wasn't like, okay, now this is probably going to be too hard for me or this and this. He made it a priority and he started. And that's the main thing. And this is what I want for you. I want you to understand that health goes into every single area of your life. You become more confident. Health is wealth. You've heard it so many times. But people, you need to understand, right? Your energy levels go up. You feel better. You can perform better at work. Your businesses improve at a faster rate, right? Your relationships around you. Like if you are trying to get into a relationship, this is what you need to increase your confidence. Talk to more people. Be confident around the people you're around. If you want people to actually respect you for the thing that you can't buy, your physique, this is something that's earned. No one can tell you you don't deserve this. Everything else you can say, this person just paid for this, and this is why he's here and here and here. No one has less respect for you for having a better physique. I promise you. Every single area of my life changed. I know it has for so many other people. No one is going to tell you that you're worse off because you have a better physique. This is something that you have to understand. I'm not saying it from the superficial point of view, like for others. You do it for you. But you need to understand also that this also affects other areas of your life. It's something that can motivate you and keep you progressing. So what I want for you to do is I want you to stop trying everything and focus on zeroing in on one method, implement a fail-proof system, and create a dream lifestyle. I want you to give you the actual step ladder to success right now. How am I going to do this? So you have a choice to make right now. This is something that I do only really offer a few people, and I do believe that this is our right bit by this. Basically, so you have option one, right? Right, you can go back to living your usual life, right? Back to being stuck with the desire to do this, but no clarity on how to actually make it long-lasting change. You can say, thanks, Marco, but I think I'd like to go back to not losing weight and not knowing how to change my habits. I hope this helped. I hope this helped you, but if you want to, and figure this out on your own, then great. You have my best wishes. Go for it. I hope. Go for it. There's nothing wrong with that. But there is another option, though. Like you can actually make this a defining moment. You can say, I've had enough. I'm sick of not losing weight. I'm sick of constantly starting over and over, not getting anywhere, and it's time to win. Because the truth is, you ultimately control the things you do, and you can now have the option of being the next testimonial and taking control of your life, like my clients did. Because, you can say, I want to do this because you've done it for yourself and others. And I want to do this for me too, because, there is this system that I've been talking about, which is more directly targeted to you and specific to what you actually need, because that is what you need. the accountability behind the right things to do and exactly what works for you with the support and guidance. So I don't want to say that it's just another moment where you just let something walk away and then never really take action on anything. But whatever you do, take action on everything, right? This is something that's changed my life. And I've taken action on every single piece of information I've had, learning more and more, right? I want you to actually empower yourself. And it's my duty basically to put this in front of you. I'm the coach. I'm Marco the coach. And I've created a Reawakened Personal Fitness. And I want to teach you exactly how this works. So you want proven results. I have something very special for you. So it's an offer. It's your choice to take advantage of this or not. But as I mentioned, it is my duty to present this as someone who has the knowledge and information and knows that you can seriously change your life. So your golden opportunity. So I've actually set aside some time to actually talk to you and discuss on a call around 45 minutes and map out an action plan to help you reach your goal, fix your habits, and use all the proven systems to actually accelerate, simplify, and sustain your results forever. So no more yo-yo dicing, no more going back and forth, knowing exactly what to do, how to eat, how to train, and actually make sure this is something that you can take action on. The guidance, support from myself to seriously get this result. So if you want to build this out hands-on together, and I can help you get the results. So I'm quite selective on who I work with. And that's because I've got limited spaces. And I really only truly want to work. I'm in a position now where I've done well enough in areas where I can say, this is who I want to work with and who I want. And if I invite you to become a client, then that would be, absolutely brilliant. If I really feel like I can change your life, that would be something that I'd be so happy to do. But obviously no pressure to take the offer if it's presented to you. But the actual main thing is, I want to give you some strategies to seriously get some results, regardless of your decision. And it could be the actual core that changes your life and this entire year. So right now you have to be committed to change, right? You have to be able to invest time, energy, and resources to actually change, to master your nutrition, reprogram your identity, learn how to train, exercise. And my systems do work best if you want to lose 10, 20, 30 pounds, if you want to build muscle, if you want to stay the same, then you know where I'm at with all that. So it works for those who have very little free time and you want a sustainable approach that you can actually enjoy and work around your lifestyle. And if you want to see some results within the first few weeks, some quick wins, some great stuff to really teach you in just something that you need, that's the spark of motivation. That's what I was talking about. This is something that you can see results in the first few weeks as well, but also maintain them for the rest of your life and keep improving on. So if you want the proven part and you want to actually know the blueprint behind it to get the fast, incredible results, this is for you. If we work together, we'd actually go through this on how we can actually build you out a personalized transformation plan. Because it is very, very hard to go through every single thing in a single lecture, especially what's custom to you. So if you are someone I can really know, I can help, or actually really run through this properly. And if you're not, then absolutely fine. I'm trying to give you some ideas, exactly what could work for you, some strategies anyways. And if you want to actually improve on your health and fitness, then that is something I can actually give you some ideas about. Obviously, there is, I say this a lot, right? Don't get much fulfillment from a lot except seeing people's lives change. Client results, the transformations. It's what I'm in it for, right? I run my business and they're doing well. So I'm not in a position where if this is just about me trying to hand you something and then expecting it to work for you because of the sake of me being able to take on as many clients as possible. And this right now, this is about me trying to actually change your life. This is about actually getting you some serious results. So what will it cost on your end? What will it cost you on your own? Sorry. It's basically going to cost you a lot of time. Basically, I've spent a lot of years researching, trying to figure everything, trying to do this. If you want the time back, if you want actually if you want to actually get the results instead of trying to figure this all out yourself and going through the whole trial and error process, running out of energy, then this is for you because I've actually tried to streamline all of this and simplify it into my systems so you can have an easy route. So here's what you can do. So there's a few options. Drop me a message on Instagram at Muscles with Marco with video complete, I'm in. And that just lets me know that you've come from the video. And so I know you've watched all of this, and we'll discuss availability and schedule a call. You can schedule a call. So it's in my link below. And I know you've taken the time out of your day to actually go through all of this. If you've gone through this so far, and just drop me all wherever you'd like me to actually be in direct message, where you'd like to be messaged back and forth, or if it's just over email, that's fine too. So I do really want to help you with all this. If you are coming from Instagram, that is actually the way it would be easiest for you to get back and get you scheduled in quickly. That would be, and if you want to check out more of my client results, testimonials, transformations, have a look through my Instagram page, Muscles with Marco. If you slide into those, you can hear their stories, testimonials, and what they have to say. There will be more coming up, and also on this site here. So that's where you can also schedule a call. And this is the link. So these links should be down below in the description or below the video, wherever you're seeing this. And basically, or it will be sent to you by email. And basically, please do listen to their stories. Please do listen to what they have to say, because this is genuinely what I'm most proud of. How I've been able to help people. It's on this account. It's the link in my bio on my Instagram, actually, at Muscles with Marco. And I really, truly hope you found this valuable. Just some closing remarks. It's easy to use willpower to get started and feel good, but to actually keep the momentum going is hard, right? This is the main thing that I've just found to be a staple of transformations in the past. Willpower and motivation only gets you so far, because you need to know how to create a new identity, stack your habits, create flexibility around your nutrition that actually balance workouts for sustainable results. And so that's been it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Marco. So if you just generally have any questions or anything like that, drop me a message on Instagram. If you want some more info or just want a few little tips or a little bit of advice from me, just drop me a message with tips, I guess, on Instagram at Muscles with Marco or anywhere else, and I'll be more than happy to help. But if you really want to work on this one-to-one, then absolutely fine. That would be great. If there is anything that I can help with, do let me know, and there should be all the links below for you to see or in the email. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have found this very useful.